small print? Somebody can't read small print.
It is my kind.
Oh, thank you. That's just what I need.
Put your glasses on, nerd.
Look at this. I'm 20 years old and I'm already getting older because I have more glasses than you.
I can understand. I have glasses.
I have to be honest with you guys. Before I can actually get into my message, I wanted to give you a little bit of a, because I feel like you guys may know me as the games guy, but I don't think you guys didn't actually know me. So here's a little bit of thing about me. When I first got saved in this church, this is something I never read to my parents or my mother, so this is a shock to him. I can tell you that right now. The night when I knew I had to get my life right was the night when I was in my room, laying in my bed, about to drift off to sleep, when out of nowhere I could not breathe at all. I didn't know what was happening. All I knew was I couldn't breathe. And in that moment, I realized if I don't get my life right, I could die right now and not know where I'm going whatsoever. I had no clue what was going to happen. Then out of nowhere, I got my breath back. And I mean, this was like some straight, like, close there breath. Like I could not breathe at all when I got the breath. And I was like, okay, this is something I need to address fast. So I ran to my mom and dad's room, and the first thing I said was, Mom, Dad, when is Bruce baptizing people? Because this ain't good. And I didn't want to tell them why I was asking them that. They told me the date and said, okay, tell them I'm getting baptized that night. So until that day happened, every service, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, I was hitting the altar. Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, hitting the altar. I felt myself getting closer until one night, and I remember this distinctly. Zach was preaching on Wednesday night. I was at the altar, and I felt a hand on my shoulder. Now, me in my mind, I'm thinking, well, someone is just praying over me, right? That's just somebody right next to me. Then I felt another hand on my other shoulder. And then when I got up that night, I realized there was only one person praying over me that night. And I felt two hands praying over me. That's when I knew, okay, I have to get back. I have to. This is no game. And the pain, the sharp cold I felt that night before I actually went back down to pray was replaced with a warm, tender heart. And when I got up from that altar, I could not stop crying because I knew I just got touched by the Father. And I could not believe it. Now, I'm not saying that I haven't had my own slip-ups. I mean, let's be real here. We all had slip-ups, right? I'm not the only one, right? I've slipped up more than enough times. I've hit that altar more than enough times. At camp, I had to hit the altar big time because I was going through some stuff. And at camp, I remember that the night, like right after camp, right when camp was ended, when we were doing the dodgeball game, I was so on fire, I could not stop moving. I played that game of dodgeball. I sweated. I could have sworn I lost 30 pounds. And then I found 30 pounds again when I ate the chicken baskets. Let's face it. Okay, so to my message, the title of it, I call it, I take them back. Because no matter what we do, we have to, at some point in our entire life, we have to say, we have to put our foot down and say, I'm taking them back. We have to go up to the devil and actually, like, literally give him a smack in the face, say, these kids, they're his. I'm taking them back right now. No, you won't get them. If you will go with me to the first verse I have is Zechariah chapter 1, verse 3. Now to find it in this Bible, next to it. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 3. I messed up that, that's why. Therefore say to them, thus say the Lord of hosts, return to me, says the Lord of hosts, and I will return to you, says the Lord of hosts. Now, I'm not going to go to the other ones because I feel like we should go to them later. If you'll bow your heads with me and pray. One thing I got out of when I was researching this was the one thing that kept shooting out at me was he kept saying return, return. And I feel like in this day and age, in 2016, we have to figure out a way to return to him. Because there are several moments that we will walk away from him because we're like, okay, I don't know that person. I'm afraid of telling anybody that. I know him, but I don't want anybody else to know. And it's a scary thought to think that, all right, here's the best way I can put it. Let's say if God's standing next to you right now. Let's say he's right here, right in front of, right next to you, and you're like hanging out with him. Then you see one of your ungodly friends walk by. Now you have a choice to make, whether you acknowledge that you know who this person is and what he's about, or you just go, yeah, hey, what's up, dude? I don't know that guy. Let's just go do something. Because it's a shocking thing, because most people will choose that over letting them know who that person is. Most people will actually say, I'm sorry, God, but this guy doesn't know you, so I can't know you. So I have to go. I'll be back to you next Sunday. I'm just gonna go off with this person and do what I want, and then I'll come back to you. And it's a scary thought. Because in this life, the society, I'm just going to close the Bible because it won't stay shut. In this society, they will rather put you on trial. They would rather put you on trial on whether or not you know God than actually accept that you know him and actually speak to him sometimes. They are willing to actually accuse you of saying, oh, you're pushing this on me, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to separate myself from you, so that way I don't have to be associated with someone like you. And you think that's kind of harsh. It's because it kind of is. And the scary thing is, this isn't something that happened like years ago, not just years ago, but it's something that's happening right now in 2016 as I'm speaking. There are countries out there where if you even say the word Jesus, you get tortured, beaten, and practically told you're wrong until you admit you're wrong. It's a scary thought to think that. It's mind-blowing when I personally had to watch a video of, apparently they showed this at a women's meeting or something, of a young girl who was taken out of her home and forced and tortured and stuff like that, just because she knew the Lord Jesus. Just because she knew God. And would not proclaim Buddha as her savior. That's a little, you feel that? A little tingle? That's some real stuff. The scary thing about the trial is after a trial like this, you receive people who will question your beliefs, who will question you whether or not you know this person. And you know what I say to those people when they say, "Hey, You know that God, right? Tell me something about him. If you really know all so much about him, tell me something about him. Tell me something that only God and you would talk about. That's the moments. Those are in those moments. I say that's the enemy trying to get to you through them. In those moments, you have to just tell them straight to the face, I take back what you stole from me. Because in those moments, you start to doubt yourself. Your faith, you start to doubt your grace in God's word. You start to doubt yourself big time when that happens. Because then you're wondering to yourself, okay, do I continue going to church, or do I go to this party that someone wants me to go to? Do I miss youth night? So I can go hang out with this friend. He said they're just gonna have some fun. They're fun, innocent fun. That's those moments when you actually do have to say, I take back what you stole from me. And if you don't believe me, there's actually a song dedicated to this. There's actually a song. I'm not going to sing it because my voice is terrible. I need my phone because I'll even play it. No. But the song, it's so uplifting. Once you hear it, you'll actually hear the words, I take back what you stole from me. Take back what you stole from me. Take back what you stole from me. And it's uplifting every time you hear that. And if you want to look it up, it's actually called Take Back What You Stole From Me. You can actually add it on your song, on your downloads. You can actually go add it to go to iTunes, add it if they even had it, Either way. If we can go to the next verse. Oh yeah, I need to get your Bible. Nehemiah, chapter 1, verse 9. But if you return to me and my commandments and do them, though some of you were cast out to the furthest part of the heavens, yet I will gather them from there and bring them to a place which I have chosen as a dwelling for my name. Now, I gotta be honest, when I read that verse, powerful. Just right off the bat, I almost broke into tears reading that. It is a powerful verse. Now, when they said, now the one thing that stuck out to me in that verse was, again, return. And return. Why? One thing that was resonating with me was, why in all these verses I have is the word return in them? It's because one thing that stuck out to me was, he wants you to return to your roots. Now, you can take that as you want, but the way I take it as is he wants you to return home. See, most people don't get it. Well, the one thing that most people don't get is they think we're just preaching at them, or preaching at them to get right. We're preaching at them because we think it's better than what they have. No, we're trying to show you the path that is less, the path that's less traveled by. If that's a proper, if that's right, if that's the way you say it. Because the funny thing is, if you actually look it up, if you actually look up on Google how many Christians there are in the world, you will find that there are more non-believers out there than there are Christians. in most countries, again, they won't let you say the word. There are actually, okay, who here has actually seen the movie God's Not Dead? The first one. In that movie, it actually shows you what happens if you are if you are a Muslim and you decide to start Christianity. They will kick you out of your own family. Just because you do not believe what they believe. They will actually say, "You are not my blood. Get away from me." Because you will not denounce Christ. Return to your roots. Return home. I would like to ask one question, if I can. In your words, in your own words, what would you think home means? Like, what is home to you guys? That's way better than what I had, right? Home, the funny thing is, people think, oh, that must be a place where family is, right? It has to be a place where family is. Most people are probably going to get it when I say this, but home is where you make it. No matter where it is. It could be with a foster family. It could be with someone who you barely even met. It could be with friends. It could be even with some distant relatives. Home is, no matter what the word is, no matter where it is, no matter how you get there, home is where you make it. Not where someone else tells you where it is. Home is where you make it. Now, when I said I have another verse, it's because I do. Go to Joel, chapter 2, verse 13. So rend your heart, and not your garments. Return to the Lord your God, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and kind, and of great kindness. And he relents from doing harm.